So Brent Lucas is here. Welcome to Man Talk. Brent Lucas is the CEO of Envoy Medical, COCH is his stock symbol. This was a pretty significant interview we did with him a couple of weeks ago because we got a lot of email regarding hearing health, and we've never talked about it. And hearing health is often referred to as an invisible disability. Well, because I can tell you my 96-year-old father, who is a pistol, if I talk to him on the phone. I mean, hey, who's that tall drink of water you're dating? I mean, that's him. Mm-hmm. But in public, if there's ambient noise, he's basically in a box. I mean, he will sit there and not talk because he can't hear anything.
Yeah.
This resolves that, and I'm so glad to have Brent Lucas on the air with us. Brent, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
I'm good. It's good to see you again.
Hey, so talk to us about the overall hearing health metric in terms of invisible disability. I don't think people realize just how pervasive this is, and just how the quality of life thing, it's not just about not hearing people talk. It's about feeling isolated in a public place to where he's lost interest when in a public place, unless you're sitting right next to him. You take him to a restaurant, it's honestly, he's in his own little world. I think you've seen that a million times because of your business. Talk about that a little bit, Brent.
Yeah. So hearing loss is about 1 in every 10 people has disabling hearing loss. So to sort of qualify, what is disabling hearing loss? So disabling hearing loss is enough hearing loss where it's impacting your life. So about 1 in 10 people have that. Now, if you combine that with social isolation, which you're alluding to, it's an epidemic. In fact, the Surgeon General put out a notice about this last year about social isolation and in the elderly, where they're sort of removing themselves from community and talking to people, interacting with people, which is causing issues in their health. Because
Brent, even those who have solid hearing devices, it's still a problem because of the ambient noise, which is, I mean, if you can't hear, you can't hear, and after a while you get frustrated, and now you're sitting there ticked off, and I'm just gonna sit here. It's better for me not to say anything.
Right.
Yeah, and when you have a hearing loss device that picks up everything, so when you have a microphone, an external microphone like a hearing aid or a traditional cochlear implant, it picks up everything in the environment. So if you have a microphone that's sitting, right behind your ear, you can imagine anything that microphone picks up is going to get amplified to the same degree. Now, they've tried to address that with some digital programming and other things, but at the end of the day, an artificial microphone is just not as good as your ear when you pick up sound, and that's what we've done. We use the ear to pick up sound.
Well, and I will tell you just out of experience, because he's 96 years old, God bless him. And I don't. By the way, I'm just telling you guys, I don't want to go to 96. I got 20 good summers left, and just find a length of rope for me.
Pull the plug.
I don't want to. But the bottom line is, he literally tunes into the television because he can do a Bluetooth type thing, which helps, but it's not perfect. And it's like, some of you guys don't realize this yet, but you're going to have reading glasses at some point. And the thing is, you realize when you go to the optometrist, oh crap, that's what it was like to see again. And you start putting up with or getting used to a certain sort of quality of life where I haven't seen clearly, even with contact lenses and everything else, in years. The hearing thing's got to be the same thing, and there's got to be there's got to be, and this is a damaged ear canal, by the way. There's got to be this sort of tipping point with your patients that show this. So the big question is, how long, how fast, and what's the difference? And will there be some sort of vertical integration with things like iPods and stuff like that? Because once you can have the same quality of life as anybody else, regardless of what you're hearing, I think that's the real, I-Ching for this thing. I mean, that's the panacea for this.
Yeah, no, I think for both of our devices, there's lots of opportunity to interact with electronics going forward. But one of the very cool things about our device, because you use the ear to pick up sound, you can already use an AirPod. You could use a hearing aid if you wanted to. You can use anything you want in your ear with our devices. You cannot do that. If you already have a hearing aid on top of it, you can't throw the latest and greatest AirPod or ear device in there. So ours really allows you to integrate with pretty much whatever you want and take advantage of the upcoming consumer electronics. So we're very excited about our design. We think it lends itself well to those people who want to live without anything else and be discreet about their hearing loss. I'm follically challenged, as you can see. So if somebody like me, I'd be able to address my hearing loss, but not tell the entire world about it with our device. And that's important to a lot of people. But if I don't care about that and I want to throw an AirPod in, which I do now, I can do that with our device as well and get the best of both worlds.
Brent Lucas, the CEO of Envoy Medical, their NASDAQ ticker symbol, COCH. Brent, as far as installing and getting the device installed, what's that procedure like?
Oh, you just pull up to the bay and they walk up there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the surgery's done with an otologist or a neuro-otologist. So these are ENT surgeons, subspecialty of ENT surgeons. I like to call them the Top Gun surgeons. These are sort of the best of the best when it comes to ear surgery. They will put the device in about 2 hours under general anesthetic. So you'll show up at a surgery center, you put it in, you wake up, and the device is in. It's pretty easy procedure to go through.
And how bad does your hearing have to be? I mean, I have problems where I'm always like talking to my good ear. I have to like lean towards people with this ear.
Yeah, one of those big black horns, like in the 1800s.
I thought you were just ignoring me. I thought you were.
Oh, that's part of the problem.
I thought you were gaslighting me, or like just doing the silent treatment.
No, you know, you were talking about one of the issues is that sometimes you just there's mishearing things because I literally have.
And there's stupid men.
And there's both. You said it, not me. So, but you know, how bad does your hearing loss have to be before you can have one of these implants?
Sure. For our Steam device, the one that's already FDA approved, you have to have moderate to severe hearing loss. So generally, you can't have mild hearing loss. Mild hearing loss is only 10, 15 decibels of hearing loss. So once you get into that moderate category, you can qualify for an Esteem device. For the cochlear implants, we're talking a greater level of hearing loss. Those folks are, people that are missing about 50% of the conversation, even when they're wearing a hearing aid. So these people are much harder of hearing. So most people would qualify for the Esteem device, the first device, and then the cochlear implant is for those people that progress beyond that. But once you get to a cochlear implant level of candidacy for this device you see on the screen here, which is really breakthrough technology for us, once you get to that point, you really have no other options. You either can have a cochlear implant with an external device or a cochlear implant that's fully implanted like ours. So we think we'll be able to really disrupt this particular market segment, which is about 4 to 5 million people in the United States.
Wow. So yes, you just realized it was installed in you, right?
Yeah, no, I realized that, but what was the device in the heart area?
There's a GPS, because the older they get lost. So we don't know where.
What did I see
we don't know where they are.
Got to keep track. Got to keep track.
We don't know where they are, and so. But what is that because it's active to a cell phone or something? So you could adjust tones. And
That's the battery pack. That's the battery pack. So for cochlear implants, they use a lot of batteries. So a traditional cochlear implant user today actually has to change their battery probably once a day or recharge it once a day. So to have a fully implanted cochlear implant, we needed a battery pack. That battery pack is in the chest, which is actually very similar to things like the Inspire sleep apnea device or deep brain stimulator. So it's very common in medical devices to have that. So that's a battery pack there. And we thought it would be better to have the battery in the chest rather than having to recharge it constantly up by your head.
By the way, you look great. Oh, you look great there with your shirt off, Brent. I think you're fantastic. You're very. I'm gonna tell you, you've gotten really in good shape.
I thought that was Kevin Spacey for you.
Hey, Brent, will you come back with us again? This is so interesting because the next time we have you on, I'd love to have you in studio with some of your scientists and stuff like that because this is something that needs to be addressed. And I think that there's probably people that are ignoring it because they're embarrassed or they don't want to believe it.
For sure.
I think your addressable market's starting to get big. His name is Brent Lucas. Thanks, Brent. I appreciate it. CEO, Envoy Medical, COCH.